360 cameras can do some wild creative stuff, but let's be honest, a lot of these tricks look cool once or twice and then feel kind of gimmicky. So how do you actually use a 360 camera like the Insta360 X5 to actually improve your videos, to make them feel more cinematic, more immersive and especially more intentional? That's exactly what this video is about. These are some of my favorite ways to use the X5 and other 360 cameras to make your videos better. Let's get right into it. People often try to replace drone shots with their 360 cameras, but it usually doesn't really look like real drone footage, or even worse, it doesn't look good at all. And the reason is usually that it's either unrealistic, too shaky, or it simply does not feel like real drone footage. So the key for 360 drone footage is to either make it believable, good looking, or to simply use your 360 camera for something your drone can't, which is what we're doing now. Now, drones always have the problem with tracking shots that they fly way too high, like I think it's at least 2 meters above the ground or so. That doesn't look good. It looks much better if they fly close to the ground while they track you. So this is what I try to do now with the Insta360 X5. I will attach it here to my motorbike and get a low angle tracking shot that looks like a shot with a low flying drone, but I couldn't actually do it with a drone. Almost too low to the ground. Yeah, that's a lot better. Not a lot, but it is better. Let's try it. I hope the lens guard is not too scratched. Yeah, I'm not sure if that shot is usable. The scratches are on the other side, so it actually seems like I can use the shot. Woo! Yeah, that was a lot of luck. The shot actually comes out better than I expected. And we can change the lens guard now. I didn't even plan that for this video, but that is cool. Another mistake that can easily ruin your 360 footage is that you might hold your selfie stick in wrong ways, because the software always cuts out the selfie stick, which is great, but it might be that you hold your hand in an unnatural way, or it's generally obvious that you hold a selfie stick at all, and that ruins your shot. That's why if you want to get cinematic looking shots with your 360 camera, you ideally want to get the camera and selfie stick completely out of your hands by putting it somewhere else, either on a selfie stick, tripod, or however you can imagine. Let's have a look at some examples. Now, to give you a few examples here, at first I could hold the Insta360 X5 like that, and because it has such a wide angle, then you would directly see, I shall show you that here, how my arm is stretched, so it's kind of like normal vlogging. And 360 cameras, in my opinion, have the power that you don't actually have to do that. Like, for example, what you could do, you could completely extend the selfie stick. Then instead of grabbing it like that, where you kind of have to hold it up, you can like either hold it with 2 fingers around or 3 fingers, depending on what's more comfortable for you. And then you could simply just walk like that and talking to the camera, and it looks like you would have nothing in your hands, and people wonder, how did you even film that, right? So this is already one example. And of course, what you can also do at any time is, if you have such tripod base here, that you can simply put this 360 camera somewhere. Normal selfie stick is a little bit too low for that. I will use the 3-meter one. So you can just let it stand there and then walk towards it and talking to the camera, and then you have it completely out of your hands. Now you might ask yourself, what's the advantage to a normal camera then? I would say the advantage is that it films everything around you. Like, you don't have to worry about framing, that you're standing perfectly in the center or so. You can do all of that in post by adjusting all your settings there. And that makes it a bit more convenient sometimes on the go. Yes, the quality is a bit lower, but therefore it's more convenient. And of course, especially because we're here on a viewpoint, that 3-meter selfie stick is actually great, because what you can do is to also just film yourself while you arrive somewhere. So for example, I can place that here somewhere. Now you really have to balance it. It's important, but it's pretty high. So now I can just walk into the frame. and get a shot like that. So this is actually a great way to show that you arrived on a viewpoint. You can actually see a lot of the landscape, and it doesn't look like that where you hold the selfie stick in your hand. Probably know what I mean, where you would like walk up the edge and then do the typical one here like, eh. Looks a bit vloggy. I mean, there's nothing wrong about vloggy. It's also a bit authentic, but if you want to do it a bit different, then get it out of your hand and you get a different kind of shots that looks less vloggy. And another way to hide that you actually hold a selfie stick in your hand is to simply also hold something else in your hand, like your phone or anything you can imagine. Water bottles also work really well. So for example, here I have my phone now. I would do as if I would hold it with two hands while I'm sitting down there. So I would walk here, have the phone, do as if I would swipe on the phone and do something there. As you can tell, that makes it quite difficult to see that I'm actually holding a selfie stick in my hand with the 360 camera. So overall, when it comes to that, I think there are unlimited possibilities to somewhere hide that you have a selfie stick in there. Just be creative, try out different ways, and you will figure something out. Let's directly come to the next way to improve your videos with 360 cameras. Now, this shot here does not look special at all. I only put the X5 on a tripod, but wait for it. And now this one looks difficult, but also comes out great, and it's actually not that hard to do. You simply put the camera on a tripod or selfie stick with a tripod base and record the initial video of you talking or doing anything else, and then you leave the camera in exactly the same spot, don't move it at all, and switch to either video time-lapse mode or photo interval for even better quality to record a time-lapse as long as necessary to get the desired shot. In my case, that was around 1.5 hours because I wanted to capture both the sunset and also the city lights at the bottom of the viewpoint. And this is how it looks like behind the scenes when you shoot such a time-lapse. Here is the X5, my other camera that filmed me before, something to eat, and the monkeys. Look at me. It's at least how it is here in Thailand. It's actually a good activity in the evening. In the edit, you simply export both as 360 video files, go into Final Cut or DaVinci Resolve, make both shots exactly the same length, overlap them and ensure that you apply the exact same keyframe animation for the spin to both shots. Otherwise, the movement will not fit between them. From there, you simply shorten the top clip, which should be the time-lapse, and add a simple crossfade transition to blend over to the time-lapse. And done! You just created your normal video into time-lapse effect. And yes, if you do that too often, it can also feel a bit gimmicky, but if you use it intentionally in your long form videos, it can definitely enhance them and also tell the story better, because you show time passing by plus a nice effect just to engage the viewer a bit more, and from there you can go to the next chapter of the video, or you can also end it. Now that we've kind of transitioned into the night, it's perfect to talk about one of the biggest upgrades of the Insta360 X5, which is pure video mode. It's designed specifically for low-light scenes like this night market here, where most 360 cameras fall apart. So you get sharper and virtually noise-free footage. It's something even the X4 can't do, so if you want to get low-light 360 footage, switch your X5 to pure video mode and it handles that for you. And that leads me to my next tip, which is that you should learn and get used to using keyframe animations and speed ramps more in the edit for your 360 footage. For example, I got a relatively simple shot in 60 frames per second on the Insta360 X5 on my motorbike, which looks pretty boring if I just play it back normally. But if I use keyframe animations in combination with speed ramps to make some parts of the movement faster and others slower and smoothly transition between fast and slow, we are getting a really nice effect. Of course, you should also not overuse that, but it's certainly better to watch than only showing a simple shot of your motorbike in a vlog before you start driving. And you can also use keyframe animations in more simple ways, for example to reveal what you see first and then turn the camera angle around to show yourself so the viewer can connect better with you. Because with traditional cameras you would do that by making a cut, but with 360 cameras you can simply animate to spin for that, no cut needed, and that's the beauty of 360 cameras like the X5, they give you so much flexibility in the edit. Now, these animations can get pretty wild, but you can also use your X5 in simpler ways, for example by utilizing the Tiny Planet mode to create beautiful frames. To do so, you can simply put your X5 anywhere where it's surrounded by something. That can be flowers, your camera bag or some bushes, and put yourself or anything else in front of the lens. And when you activate Tiny Planet mode on those shots in the edit, the surrounding objects create a nice framing that leads the attention of the viewer into the center of the frame, which is you or whatever you put there. It's a pretty nice photographic trick to create cool shots that are actually interesting to watch, especially in tight spaces that allow such unique angles. And last but not least, a feature I think I already mentioned in previous videos, but I can't mention enough, is to use 360 cameras to shoot hyperlapses, because it simply makes it so easy and good. Like, to get a shot like this one here with my normal camera, I would usually spend about half an hour shooting hundreds of photos just to end up stabilizing everything for another hour in post, because it's so difficult. And even if I would use my normal camera on a gimbal to get such shots, I would still have to carry all that weight, and tracking the subject is also not precisely easy usually. But with a 360 camera, you just walk straight in front of whatever you want to shoot a hyperlapse of, do some tracking using the Insta360 app, and you're done. It's perfectly stable, and because you have so much flexibility in the edit, you can create really cool stuff with it. The way how I would integrate it into travel videos would, for example, be that instead of only showing the usual slow shots, I would use that as a revealing shot, for example, so that you make everything a bit more interesting. It doesn't work for every place where you are, but the places where it works, it definitely makes it look a lot better. Let's finish that up with some real talk here. You don't see me using 360 cameras that often actually. The main reason is just that it does not fit that well together with my Sony cameras and others, because the quality has quite a bit of a difference, so I can't really match that. And of course, depth of field and stuff, like having a bit of background blur, you also don't get that with such cameras. That's why you don't see me using those cameras that often. But interestingly, every time I make those videos for Insta360, like right now, I have a lot of fun shooting, because you can be so creative with those cameras. Like, they are truly fun. And that's also what I want to say here. Like, it's not necessarily the most professional tool or so, but if you just want to have some fun shooting around, capturing your holidays or whatever, then this is definitely a great tool for it. And even if you put some shots in your videos that don't really fit to the rest, it still can make your video a bit more interesting to watch, just because the shots are so different. So even if you're just a hobbyist or so, check those cameras out. You can have a lot of fun with them. And also, by the way, the X5 obviously is better than the X3 and X4 cameras, so everything that you can do with the X3 and X4 is possible with the X5 as well. That's why you should also check out those two videos here in the corners, because there I give you lots of more ideas of what you can do with those cameras, and you can do all of them with the X5 as well. I hope to see you there, and also let me know in the comments below what you think of 360 cameras and if you enjoy shooting with them.